Sam basically gets high, steals the family car, goes on a joyride 180 miles an hour. Maybe the police didn't stop him, but he wrapped the Ferrari around the tree. See, like that's what happened with FTX, which is they took the car off a cliff.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have the latest interview with Michael Saylor, giving us an update on the collapse of FTX, as well as new information on the inside dealings that went on behind the scenes. Saylor will also discuss the crypto market and how the fraud inside FTX is causing investors to panic. He discusses how SBF was using customer funds to make moves politically and financially, and how eventually the worthless tokens and counterfeit money caught up to him. Saylor also discusses Bitcoin and what other digital assets are going to be affected by the recent crash. Let's get right into the latest interview with Michael Saylor. If you enjoy the content we do here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into the video.
Well, why do those laws exist? Well, they exist so that the Sam Bankman-Frieds of the world can't print their own token, do insider wash trading, manipulate the price up to $8 billion, and then tank it to zero overnight. That's why the laws exist. He could have never operated the exchange. Alameda would be out of business, FTX would be out of business, and the FTT token would be out of business if they had actually had to file a registration statement with the SEC. Because those were all insider conflicts of interest, and there's nothing ethical or legal about any of them, right? And so they couldn't have done it. And so the reason that it makes sense to file registration statements and take equities public is in order to avoid these kind of FTX, FTT frauds that basically destroy people. There is a stigma attached to related party transactions in public companies, rightfully so, because Alameda was a related party to FTX, and FTT was a related party. So Sam Bankman-Fried is the issuer of FTT, is the owner of Alameda, a hedge fund, and is the operator and owner of FTX. Those were three related parties. The reason that there's a stigma is if you took FTX public and you said, by the way, FTX accepts FTT, which is a related party issued token, and it does business with Alameda. The question that a skeptical investor would have is, well, since the same person controls all three, is it possible that he actually wired the systems to give himself an advantage? And if it turns out that Alameda has $1 billion trading loss, will Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, liquidate Alameda in order to protect the interest of the other customers? Or will Sam not liquidate them to protect his own interest? He has a conflict of interest. Mm-hmm. And we know how the story ends. By the way, the other question would be, since Sam has billions of dollars, $8 billion worth of FTT token, will Sam, the CEO of a bank, issue credit against the $8 billion of the token that he issued himself and give himself preferential treatment? Or will there be an arm's length transaction? If you were an arm's length, if this was an arm's length relationship and there was a disinterested financial executive running FTX, how much credit do you think they would have extended Alameda for $8 billion of FTT token? If I were to go to a bank and say, I have some locked MicroStrategy stock, will you loan me money against it? They would say no, zero. If I went to them, zero, right? The answer, by the way, to the question is a disinterested CEO of a crypto bank that was honest and competent would have lent Alameda somewhere between $0 and $10 million. So obviously that didn't happen. The reason it didn't happen is because you had three related parties all terminating with one boss, and the one boss was not honest, not competent, and not disinterested, right? Okay, what could go wrong? Well, when you have three related parties and a biased, incompetent, dishonest person, So what can go wrong is the entire thing gets burned to zero. Is that likely? Yes, highly likely. It's not even just what could go wrong. It's highly likely. That's the reason there's a stigma attached to related party transactions. You would never want the CEO of a bank to be issuing loans to a private company that they owned, right? I mean, like, if it turned out that the CEO of JP Morgan was issuing billion-dollar loans to, to Jamie Dimon, real estate development company, jointly owned with him and his wife, right? People would just lose it.
Yep.
Right? For obvious reasons. No one has credibly documented that there were meetings. We know that there was a calendar entry where someone that worked for Gensler might have had a meeting, but we don't know anymore.
So we're waiting for verification on that. Okay.
I think I've read that there were many more meetings with the CFTC than the SEC, and many more with politicians. But we don't know the content of any of those meetings. No one has made that public. It seems like they just don't really want to. They don't feel that they have the authority to regulate offshore entities, right? I mean, that's been the big blind spot.
Because he had it all registered in the Bahamas.
Right. I mean, FTX was in the Bahamas. And so there's this vacuum of power, right? A blind spot where the U.S. regulators don't feel like they have authority to regulate offshore entities. So when you put $1 million into FTT token, right, you were looking at something like a negative real yield of 40-50%. There was a 1/3 or 1/2 chance it was going to zero within 24 months within the cycle, right? But you didn't figure that out because you didn't study Bitcoin, right? Right? Who in their right mind would own FTT token, right? Someone that doesn't understand securities, right? Right. And of course, a lot of people in the crypto industry don't, right? Mm-hmm. Whenever we say, these are unregistered securities, all the crypto people say, what does that matter? What's with these stupid securities laws?
Because so much money was funneled through influencers, celebrities, politicians, and government, it adds that much more insult to the people whose money was taken. With Sam Bankman-Fried, there appeared to be an image of a wealthy CEO, but was propped up on opaque companies and inflated assets that only carried the appearance of value. Both of his companies are now bankrupt with billions of dollars worth of debt on the books. Bankman-Fried admitted he had a bad month, but denied committing fraud at his crypto exchange. The collapse of FTX blindsided investors, customers, venture capitalists, and Wall Street alike. What do you think about Michael Saylor's latest interview on the crash of FTX and how Bitcoin and the crypto market will be affected? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.